IREN Energy is a company that is pivoting from being only a Bitcoin miner to AI cloud services, leveraging its renewable energy powered data centers. It's acquired a whole bunch of NVIDIA chips, the H100, H200 Blackwell GPUs, around 4,300 of them, so a lot. And they are generating very high margin revenue in that tech stack. So I think this is close now to 100% gainer for me. And I think this is one of the most misunderstood companies out there on the market. On the surface, it's up to now been known as a Bitcoin miner that invested hard into using renewable energy sources to power the Bitcoin mining operations. But more than any other company on the planet, they've managed to lower their costs at the same to the inefficiencies, how much their electricity costs, while Bitcoin obviously has gotten up in price. So their margins per Bitcoin now are really, really good. That alone at this point, Badger, I think would make this an excellent business. It's just digging cash out of the ground, really. And they're doing it better than anyone else. Of course, that's dependent on the price of Bitcoin, but the price of Bitcoin has gone nothing but up over the last 14 years. So, but that's a whole nother thing. However, from what it looks to me, is like the Bitcoin is a sort of it's not really a distraction per se, but it's the way they've chosen to fund what their quote unquote real business is, which is essentially creating massive conglomerates of power to sell for to all the hyperscalers that need this power in the age of AI. And what people don't understand is that when you're talking about these gigawatt hours worth of energy that's needed, that's the bottleneck, by the way, of AI growth. It's not the chips, it's not the engineering, it's like the actual electrons. And you need a large amount in order to get these kinds of clustered power units. Think about all you need to buy the land, you need to go through the permitting, you need to construct the things. We're talking about these are like football sized, like massive, massive operations. It kind of looks like Alien, like building foreign, towns. And Iron has this portfolio, leading world's portfolio of most power that's scheduled, that's already online or about to come online in 26 and 27 of about 3 gigawatt hours, which is still less than what's needed, but it's basically ready to come online, and it's all being funded with great margins using Bitcoin. It's at $4 billion thereabouts in market cap, and I think it has a long, long way to go. These guys are exceptionally good at lowering costs and executing on basically what is a massive engineering feat. So you got basically two plays working very well together. I could not be more excited to hold this company as a third part in my AI basket to go very well with AMD and with Astera Labs.
And this is quite a big allocation for you. So you've got in your King of the Jungle portfolio, you've got 14% of your funds in IREN, and this has just given you in the last few days 100% return.
Yeah, it's kind of staggering. I was deeply underwater because for a good while, because the market could not see, or did chose not to believe that these guys are as good as they are at what they're producing. And they thought, yeah, it's just a Bitcoin mining thing, which the market does not trust at the moment. But I think I'm in this moment, Badge, with my investing, that I kind of think the companies that are the best at actually building stuff here in the United States, back, with the whole manufacturing thing, making things that other people can't make, will be rewarded massively because they'll have that ability to price what make the price whatever they want because there's no other options. So I sort of am kind of thinking like Nvidia was able to build a chip nobody else could. They have a monopoly on that thing, and they're a four whatever what is it, a $4 trillion company.
$4 billion, yeah.
4 trillion, right?
Oh, sorry, Nvidia. Oh, I'm sorry, because
Yeah,
yeah. IREN is a
Well, yeah,
$4 billion company.
but
Yeah,
in
sorry.
the big
Yeah.
picture, we know, just with the massive announcements for AI build out, think of all the companies are ready to build their massive, AI units. Where are they going to go right now? Nobody has the power that's needed except these guys. And so they're in, discussion for whatever contract they're going to sign. But I bet you the terms are going to be very, very favorable for them. And the fact that they kind of camped out in Texas where there's massive amounts of land and it's actually perfectly situated next to other data centers that have to do with lowering latency because latency matters a lot in the inference stage of AI. So they're perfectly located for, I think this could be a multi-decade growth story that just keeps funding itself and propelling the world toward, you know, giving the world access to low cost electrons where they're in high demand and low supply.
It's really interesting. You've talked. This one sort of washed over me when you've talked about it in the past. I haven't paid too much of attention, but I did pay a lot of attention there. That's on my radar now. Thank you. How would you contrast this to, like, they're totally different companies, but MicroStrategy has been making headlines for the last year or two. Sailor with like this crazy, like, leverage on leverage bet on Bitcoin. Is this like, does it have aspects of that? They're doing it a totally different way. It hasn't got like the crazy leverage. They're mining the Bitcoin as opposed to like leverage themselves up the wazoo and doing financial engineering. Under the covers, it's kind of still a Bitcoin play.
Great question. They're the exact opposite.
Yeah.
And this is why I think this is a genius. This is like, I don't know, wolf in sheep's clothing or something like that.
Mm.
As soon as they mine a Bitcoin, they sell it. They hold none, no Bitcoin. And for a while, the market was actually punishing them for that. They're saying, wait a second, but you're a Bitcoin company and you're selling the things? What, you don't believe in Bitcoin? No, these guys were just saying, our objective here has more to do with creating the best, cheapest form of energy possible, and we're using Bitcoin as a means to a much bigger end, and we're going to do that better than anybody else. So basically, we're going to fund ourselves better than any other way of funding, and Bitcoin is our, instead of taking out massive debt, we're just going to change electrons from solar, and put those into a computer. The computer is going to spit out this imaginary coin, and we're going to sell that imaginary coin, and give it to people that want that imaginary coin. And with that, we're going to actually buy NVIDIA chips and build out these massive data centers. It's actually brilliant. And side note, Badger, I really, really like enjoying listening to these guys' earning calls. They're Australian. The CEO, co-CEO, is an Australian fellow, like really smooth. Kind of reminds me of you a little bit, like really kind of collected with that sexy voice. Just like they're really enjoyable calls. So put that on your to-do list for IREN, and it's exciting stuff.
I literally, for the first time in the 3 hours we've recorded, I picked up my pencil and I just wrote down a ticker on my list of things to look at. There you go.
Yeah, screw that biotech stuff.
Yeah.
Promises, promises, but yeah.
All right. Very good.